For the next few minutes of your day, we'll read a short biography about Johann Sebastian Bach. Bach is remembered for having 20 children and for writing 1,200 compositions during the Baroque era. Johann Sebastian Bach was born in Eisenach, Germany in 1685. He died in Leipzig, Germany in 1750. He was a German organist and great composer, best known for the Brandenburg Concertos, the Goldberg Variations, and the Well-Tempered Clavier. As a young music teacher, Bach was out walking one night when 6 of his own students attacked him. They wanted an apology. Bach had called one of them a nanny goat bassoonist, someone who makes a bassoon sound like a goat. But Bach wouldn't take it back. He drew a knife in self-defense. Luckily, the fight was broken up before anyone was hurt. All his life, Bach had trouble with people who didn't see things his way. He once wanted to quit a job, and his employer, a duke, wanted him to stay. Bach was so insistent that the duke threw him in jail. But here's the difference between Bach and the average stubborn person. During the month he spent in jail, Bach wrote 46 pieces of music that we still listen to 300 years later. How could Johann Sebastian Bach ever have thought of becoming anything but a musician? His is the largest family tree in music. Almost all of his male relatives were musicians, some 76 in all, 53 of them named Johann. Bach's mother read him Bible stories, and his father taught him violin, sometimes late into the evening. But both parents were dead by the time Bach turned 10, and he went to live with a brother. Bach was able to support himself before he was 15. He sang and took organ playing jobs in towns near enough to walk to. Bach was always a dedicated musician, even if it meant blisters. Once, he walked 200 miles just to hear the great organist Dietrich Buxtehude play. Bach spent his whole life in one small part of Germany. He was married twice, first to his cousin Maria Barbara, and after she died, to Anna Magdalena, who was a good singer and keyboard player. Anna Magdalena helped Bach in his work so much that her handwriting came to look just like his. Bach produced 1,200 musical works and fathered 20 children, though only 10 lived to adulthood. 5 were named Johann, 2 Johanna, and 4 grew up to be famous composers themselves. In his free time at night, Bach would sit in his armchair with a baby Bach on his lap as his wife and children played and sang. Bach loved food and coffee. Once he wrote a whole cantata about coffee. Among his most prized possessions were 2 silver coffee pots. Bach was known as a dazzling organist. His strong legs pumped the pedals. His large hands performed acrobatics on the keyboard, and he even used a stick in his mouth to reach certain notes. But he wasn't a show-off. He said of his playing, "There is nothing remarkable about it. All you have to do is hit the right key at the right time, and the instrument plays itself." Later in life, Bach went blind, probably from copying out his own music in poor light for so many years. He died of a stroke at the age of 65. Hardly any of his music was published while he was alive, nor did he expect it to be. Bach did not think he was writing music for posterity. He was a professional. His music had an immediate purpose. Not until about 100 years after his death did the genius of Bach begin to be widely recognized. And a few more facts before we leave. Bach wrote the Goldberg Variations to relax a millionaire. One of his pupils, Johann Goldberg, worked for an insomniac count who needed music to get to sleep. The count sent the most generous payment Bach ever received. The famous 2-part inventions, or ideas, were written for Bach's children to exercise each finger and train the hands to play independently. The Brandenburg concertos were a sort of job application to a court official of Brandenburg. Bach didn't get the job, but his concertos are today among the best-known instrumental works of this entire period. Marianne Ziegler, a poet who had published 3 books, supplied the words for several of Bach's works. In working with her, Bach was ahead of his time, for women were allowed no public role in creating and performing music. The 2 Voyager spacecraft launched into the solar system in 1977 contained 3 pieces by Bach, along with special record-playing equipment. The purpose of Bach's music was to represent the best music that our Earth had to offer.